What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Just an Era podcast. This week, we're doing a Q&A episode. I asked you guys over on the podcast Instagram to drop some juicy questions, so hopefully I have some good ones. But you guys know the deal. Little housekeeping. Make sure you're following the podcast Instagram, Just an Era podcast, because I've been doing some giveaways over on there. And then also rating the show a 5-star wherever you listen to your podcasts. Truly would mean the world. It helps boost the podcast, get it out to new faces across all the apps. But yeah, let's get into it. We obviously have our weekly errors. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you're only here for like the important like topic stuff, I have timestamps on the bottoms now that I'm going to be timestamping like each segment that I do on the podcast. So let's get into it. Weekly era this week is going to be hibernation era. I am realizing I just need to chill the fuck out. I am an extreme extrovert and I'm always go, 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 wanting to be the one to make plans. And I just realized for the next 2 months, I want to be the one to finally just take the backseat when it comes to making plans and just let people text me because I'm always up people's asses when it comes to making the plans. And it's just like, it's burning me out. I'm not gonna lie. So I just need to like sit back. I'm gonna ride my boyfriend's coattail and just do whatever him and anyone in the group is doing. But yeah, it's just like exhausting. And I've just realized that like I've always, since becoming more of an extrovert, have been the one making the plans and texting everyone to get everyone on the same page for weekends and stuff, and it's just a lot, and sometimes I get in my own head and I'm like, "Shit, like, does anyone even, like, actually wanna hang out with me, or am I just being, like, overly aggressive with making the plans?" So, I just wanna take the back seat. I'm going into my little introvert, not even introvert, but hibernation, I guess you would say, with just texting people and making plans for the next 2 months because I'm not traveling at all in August, and then September, I'm actually leaving for a majority of the month. I'm going to New York for Fashion Week, first weekend, and then 2 weekends out of the month, I'm going on a vacation with my boyfriend. So, yeah, I am just taking the back seat for a little bit, and then come, like, football season slash ACL music festival, then we have to kick it back into gear and get out of my hibernation. So, that's my weekly era. My purchases for this week, which I'm actually wearing one, is my new little charm necklaces. I know charm necklaces have been so in, and I've been behind the ball with getting one, and I don't know why because they're so cute. I just know a lot of people are making them themselves, but I went to Urban Outfitters this week, and I saw they had so many charm necklaces, which they were all the jewelry was buy one, get one 50% off. So I'm like, okay, well, I obviously have to get two because I can't miss the deal. Like, girl math, hello. So I got two charm necklaces. This one is all gold with a little bit of color pop throughout the charms. And then the other one is a pearl necklace with a bunch of charms, but it's more toward like the pink tones of the charms. So I love it. And I think also because I did not make this, you may notice if you're watching it on YouTube or just seeing this as a clip, I have a like cigarette box charm, and I got so many swipe ups like, "Oh my god, you smoke?" No, guys, I did not make this charm necklace, and I can understand why people thought that because it's a trend to make these charm necklaces, but I just bought this necklace as is. Like, I did not look at it and think like, "Oh my god, there's a cigarette box, like, I'm a smoker, I'm gonna get it." I do not smoke, I've never smoked a cig in my life, hate weed, so not my thing. Just it's not that deep. Got a little charm on it. I think it's cute, honestly, even though I'm not a smoker. Um so, yeah, I like it. The necklace itself was $30, and then obviously you got the other one for 15 because it was 50% off. So $45, 2 necklaces, can't go wrong. And I also got this shirt there, this little cute cami top. If you got little perky boobs, like it's gonna make them look good. So definitely recommend checking out Urban, especially if you live in downtown Austin because they have one downtown. Anyways, weekly chats for this week. We obviously had that episode last week, which was about the Ozempic, liposuction, all that. And I just want to say, like, I love you guys for all the support that you've been giving with like all the negative backlash that has come with it from little like 16-year-olds. It's actually crazy because the Austin influencer scene is very, very small. And the amount of creators that have like reached out to me being like, that girl was so out of line. Like, what the hell? That was so weird giving mean girl. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy you guys are all on the same page because it made me feel a little bit better. Just because I was like, that was so out of left field. Why did she do that? Like, she's literally has my phone number, could have texted me. But then I also got a lot of messages from like therapists and all of you guys kind of backing me from like that side. And then I also got so many transformation photos from you guys from whoever's been following me from the OG times, sending transformations of y'all's bodies, like how I've helped you with like, disordered eating habits or building muscle or whatever it is, losing weight. Like so many of you have sent transformations being like I'm a huge role in that. And I honestly was like on the verge of tears because I was like, fuck, like I know I'm more lifestyle stuff now just because that's what happens in life. You grow, you evolve and like you're into different things. And like I was so heavy into the fitness. But I'm happy to always like sprinkle it in there because it is still a part of my life. Like I'm going to live a healthy lifestyle for the rest of my life. But seeing you guys send me transformations and saying that like I'm a huge role in that warms my heart and makes me never want to stop promoting what I promote because I think it's important. And I mean, as someone who's now doing like lifestyle and just other things, like I do think it's important that people still speak their mind and their truth on certain topics that no one really likes to talk about because it's controversial. Anyways, I watched a few different shows this week, and I actually watched the 11-minute documentary on Paramount Plus. If you guys have not, I'm not a huge like documentary person, but I just saw so many clips of it on TikTok. It's the Las Vegas shooting that happened in what, like 2018 at the country concert. It's a documentary, like episode series, and I watched it by myself on Sunday night. I fucked up. I shouldn't have done that because I all throughout the night was having the worst nightmares of my entire life. Like such bad nightmares. Would wake up crying, go back to bed thinking like, "Oh, maybe I won't dream about it anymore." Nope. My dream just picked up where it left off when I fell back asleep. I was terrified. I am not a person that can watch like gory things or like anything involving blood or guts or like anything like that. And I don't know what in my right mind thought it would be a good idea that I would be so capable of watching a documentary by myself. So I had to stop it. I even tried sitting there forcing my because I was so into it. You know, it's when you're so into something and you don't want to stop because you're like, wow, this is such a good like movie show or whatever you're doing, but you just know the bad side effects of it because you're like, I should not be doing this right now. So I'm like sitting there on the couch, scrolling on my phone, trying to like distract myself. But I'm like, Sam, why are you doing that right now? Just turn it off. Like, you shouldn't be watching this in the first place alone. So I turned it off and then I realized I'm like, I'm just gonna watch this with my boyfriend. He's gonna sleep over this week and we're gonna watch it together. Cause I was like, if we're gonna watch it together, like you need to sleep over. Because if I have nightmares all night long, or if I get scared that there's like a tree branch hitting my window, like I'm gonna freak out. So I definitely recommend watching it. But if you're like me with like gory stuff like that, watch it with somebody else. Um, so I will hopefully continue to watch it. It was really good. So many like POVs of the actual event that I was like, oh my God, like I felt like I was there. So I do want to keep watching it. Don't get it wrong. I've only watched like 45 minutes of it, and I think there's like a few episodes, but you know. And then Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. I don't know who's been watching Real Housewives, but I've been so into it this year. The reunion, crazy. And the fact that Peacock is so uncensored, like you're allowed to swear, no like bleeping out anything. Like it's so uncensored. I was like, holy shit, like what am I watching right now? But I love it. Like that's how old TV used to be, like with the Jersey Shore and all that stuff that we used to watch when we were younger. Like now Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff, it's so censored, but Peacock be slaying the game. Like even Love Island was so much better because it's on Peacock now. Um and now obviously all the Real Housewives are on Peacock, so I've been liking it a lot that Peacock is going against everything else that any streaming platform is doing. But the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion, they didn't even have an actual reunion where they're all sitting in the same room. They did it like broken up into groups because of how like intense the drama was. And I literally was like, kind of like, ooh, I wish they would do a regular reunion just so I can see all the drama. But there was still so much drama without needing to actually all sit down in the same room. So yeah, anyways, weekend recap. Thursday, I went to a blow bar event. If you guys are friends with me, if you follow me on Snapchat, I kind of did a little bit of a rant about this. I go to so many events in Austin for like brands or whatever it is, and I'm just realizing the more and more I go to them, it's just like it's never worth it. I feel like they're just so unorganized or so cringe or so like I'm just uncomfortable. Like you never know what to expect when you're going to one of these. And this one that I went to, like for Blow Bar, it was 45 minutes north. Like it was like a hike to get up there, but I was like, you know what? Like I have nothing going on Thursday night. Like I'll just go to it. Um, and it was just I got there and keep in mind they ask you when you're coming, so, like, when you get there, you have, like, a scheduled blowout. Guys, I got there and I sat there for over an hour and 15 minutes, like, just, like, twiddling my fingers. I was like, "Oh, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go home because I still have to drive 45 minutes." Like, if I ended up getting into the chair for the blowout, I probably wouldn't have been home until, like, 9 PM, and I'm like, "What is the point in getting in a blowout just for me to go home and, like, go to bed?" So I was like, not worth it. Like, I'll just get some content for them and then call it quits for that. So, and then I had another event later in the week, and I just decided, I was like, I already had one L this week. I think I'm gonna take a little break from the events. Um, they're not the best. I mean, you know what? That's wrong because I've been to a few really good ones, but I don't know. It's a rare occasion. And it's just crazy to see how many New York City influencers go to events because I think they're going to like 3 a day. I'm like, how do you do that? I could not. I could not. Anyways, Friday, I went to a Studio 3 class. I actually had a very productive Friday. I ended up vlogging it for Instagram. So if you want to go check that out, go for it. But Studio 3 is like a whole studio of different types of workouts. They got yoga, cycling, interval classes, weight training classes. So I did the interval class, which is treadmill, rowing, and weights. And it's about, I think, a 50-minute class. It was nice. I went right at 7 something early in the morning just to get it out of the way. And then my cousin, who lives in Georgia, just moved here for a job right out of college. And I was super excited because I have no family that lives in Austin. So I just feel like I've been missing that little piece. I've, yes, created my own little family with my dog and my boyfriend, but I'm like, I need like family, people that like get me. So I'm happy that he moved here for work. He's right out of college, so we are on different wavelengths when it comes to what we're doing on our weekends. But we went to go get breakfast at Two Hands on South Congress. Such a traditional place to take someone once they've moved here or if they're visiting. Two Hands is amazing. I got their seasonal scramble, which was a sourdough that had a spread of pesto, feta, and egg scramble, and then their brown sugar cinnamon hot latte. So good. And then he got the breakfast burrito as well. But their food never misses. I love their food and their dinner. Their dinner's great. Um, and then went home for the rest of the day because I just needed to get like clean the house. I'm hosting this weekend, so I was like cleaning, laundry, all that. And then later for dinner, went to Hop Dottie. Don't usually eat out twice in a day, but I had a gift card to Hop Dottie, so I was like, you know what, we're gonna go there. And I also heard that they have tenders now. Hop Dottie is a burger bar with like massive pounds of fries, like you get it all. But they have tenders now, and I was like, "Ooh, we might have to take advantage of this." So I got their buffalo tenders with their Brussels sprouts, and you get the Brussels sprouts with truffle or with hot honey. Of course, I had to get the hot honey. The one downfall about getting the buffalo tenders though is they don't have blue cheese. And I'm a and I am I can't fucking speak. I am a blue cheese gal, okay? Blue cheese with buffalo sauce, yes, buffalo tenders, anything, any day of the week. It's a no-brainer for me, unless it's homemade ranch, but I just knew that that ranch was not homemade, like, that was straight out of a jar that they just poured into a container for me. But, so good. I have a $150 gift card, and for the 2 of us, it costs $50. So I was like, we have 2 more other times we can go. There's a few other flavors for the tenders. They got the hot honey. They just have regular, and some garlic one, I think. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try some other flavors for you guys. Um, but then went home, just had a glass of wine and played Monopoly Deal. If you remember, if you're an OG, I'm obsessed with Monopoly Deal, but I have not been able to play for a while just because my boyfriend keeps beating me and I'm very competitive and it's pissing me off. So I've been taking it slow. And he made like a little comment of, I can't remember the last time you beat me. And yeah, he's right. I don't remember the last time I've beat him either. And it's kind of pissing me off. So, but I'm convinced he's a cheater. Like, I'm convinced he's cheating. Anyways, Saturday went on a 4-mile run. Raw Dog Run Club has not been happening here in Austin because of there's a lot of complaints by Austin residents throughout the routes, which is really annoying. Like, just let people have some fun, let people run. But I mean, I get it. The turnout is always like 1,000 people, so like they're gonna have to figure it out. But they've been just traveling, so I've been just going to new run clubs, trying out a bunch of them. I'm actually trying out a bunch and putting it all together in one video, giving you guys a review, and I'm gonna post it. So yeah, went on my own little run through Mueller, and then came home and I had a pool party that I had to get ready for. And if I'm the hostess with the mostest, so if I'm hosting people, like I'm gonna go out with a bang, even if it's only like 10 people showing up, 5 people showing up. Like, I love to host. I'm going to go out with a bang. So, we had Hop Dotties, frozen marg baggies. They come in bags that you can get them at Hop Dottie, and it's literally their frozen marg. Guys, this shit was so strong. I ordered solo cups on Amazon, but they were like baby solo cups, and I filled it up, so it's like not even a full cup. I'm not even kidding. I got a buzz after like one drink. It was so strong. I was like, oof, we got to pace ourselves today. And then we also got San Matero's pizzas, the best pizza here in Austin, in my opinion. Besides, actually, all day pizza is really good. But I'm saying for takeout, San Matero's. And then we had the Olympics on, the men's basketball, the women's races, all that was on Saturday. So the guys were just like inside. I'm like, y'all, I'm having a pool party. Like, my backyard has a new pool. I want you guys to utilize it. No, they only cared about the basketball and all the Olympics that were going on. I was like, damn it. So we were all kind of just like inside majority of the day, which I mean, whatever, but I kept going in and out, in and out. And then weirdest thing happened. So I'm having people over. At this point, I'm pretty like buzzed. I'm having a good time, talking with everyone. The boys ended up walking down the street to a gas station, to get some more snacks because like we just need more stuff and chasers. And I get a knock on my door, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Who's here?" Like, I mean, like I told everyone in the group chat, like just walk right in the door. And I see on my Ring camera that there's someone at the door, and I'm like, I don't recognize this guy. So he knocks on the door, and I'm like, hi. He goes, Sam Taylor? I was like, oh, yeah. Little sketched out that I'm like, he knows my name. He's at my house. Don't know how he got my address. He goes, Sam Taylor, oh my God, I'm your new neighbor. I was like, oh, like sick, like awesome. Like, cause the house in front of me, like no one's bought it yet. So he's my new neighbor. And I'm like, oh, so he must have got my like address from like the realtor or something, or not my address, my name from like the realtor or something. Whatever, like, was a little weirded out at first, but then seemed super chill. He's my age. He's like, I'm putting a sauna and a cold plunge in the backyard, and like telling me all about like his plans with the house. And I'm like, oh my God, like I just got a pool. Do you want to come see it? So I brought him out back, showed him the pool, whatever. And then he was talking it up with the guys for a few minutes, and then he ended up leaving. But I'm like, yay, like a neighbor. Like, I honestly didn't know what to expect with who was going to move into that house. I'm like, do I want a family to move in, or do I want someone my age who's chill? Because there's pros and cons to both. Like, you never know. Like, I might have like a frat house next to me, or I could have a family that's like super peaceful, whatever, but they also might be kind of strict with me having people coming in and out of my house all the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm happy that it's guys my age, because they can't really get mad at me for what I'm doing, because like they're probably gonna do the same. But anyways, so that was fun. That was eventful. And then um honestly, like the day went by so quickly. And then it hit around like 5 o'clock and everyone's starting to leave. And I'm like, okay, guys, like what's the plan? And this is why I love my friend group. They are like, go, 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 go. We have no time to waste. We're not like hanging around, being lazy with it. One of the guys goes, all right, we're gonna meet at Chandler's at 6 p.m. I'm like, oh shit, that gives me like an hour. They're like, and I'm like, oh my God, I only have an hour to get ready. And they're like, yeah, Sam, like that's fine. Like you got the time, like you'll be fine. I'm like, honestly, you're so right. Like I would rather start at 6 p.m. and get home by 10 p.m. Then everyone go home, take naps, and slowly have dinner and whatnot. No, we literally rallied. I took a shower real quick, and then I did my hair, makeup, went straight there, had dinner there. I got their tacos, and we got some buffalo wings, and then got a frozen drink. And you guys, I had frozen drinks all fucking day. So like I think this is where I did me wrong. I got a frozen drink, Mexican martini, so good, and had that like at a decent rate. Guys, I got the second one. I could not down it. I was like, I had the hiccups. I was like starting to like realize I'm really drunk. I had 1.5 drinks from 6 to like 8:30. I was so drunk. Like, I don't know what's getting into me, what's going on, but I just get so drunk so quickly. Like, there's the pros to that, but there's also the cons. Like, I cannot hang like I used to. I look at my boyfriend and I go, I'm so drunk. Like, I think I might need to go because I'm like getting the hiccups and shit. And he's like, okay, like, I'll order you an Uber. I'll walk you to the Uber. I'm like, I don't want you to leave. Like, stay out. Like, this is my bad. Like, I fucked up. Like, I got too drunk. Like, not gonna ruin your night. You stay out. And he ends up staying out because I also have my cousin with me too, and I look at my cousin and I'm like, "Sorry, like, this is your first weekend out with me, like, I'm an idiot, I got so drunk." He's like, "Dude, I don't care." I'm like, "Honestly, you're so right, like, it's fine, and you guys can all go out, have so much fun," because they wanted to go we were on the east side, and they wanted to go all the way to the west side and go to this one bar to play pool, and I'm like, "If I make that haul all the way over there, I just know that, like, it's gonna be a long night for me, and I'm gonna make some regrets." So I said, "You know what? I'm gonna go home." And at this point, like, I'm coherent, like, I know what's going on, but I'm just like, if I stay out, I'm gonna get more drunk. Like, I need to sober up. I need to go home, drink water, and just go to bed. It's been a long day. And so I ended up Ubering home. I'm chit chatting with this Uber. Like, he's probably like, this girl's slurring her words. She's so annoying. Like, she needs to shut up. But, like, one thing about me when I'm drunk and I'm in an Uber, especially by myself, to make myself feel a little bit more safe than I am because I'm in an Uber by myself, I will chit chat it up with them to kind of just like distract myself. Because if I sit there in silence, I'm going to get so in my head, like, oh my God, let's hope he takes the right turns. If he makes a wrong turn, like, I'm going to call 911, like, blah, blah. I will get in my head. Okay. It's just what it is. You're a girl, you get paranoid, it happens. So I'm chit chatting up with him, and then I finally get home, and I just basically try to go to bed, but I get the spins so bad. And when I get the spins, I get cold. So I put on a sweatshirt, I put on sweatpants, and I am sitting next to my bed. The one thing that I do when I get really, really drunk, and all my friends, especially my friends from college, know this about me, I will sit next to my bed, like sitting up. Like I'll lean my head against my bed, but I'll be on the ground because I need to sit upright and I need to have the lights on because if it's dark, I'm laying flat, my spins will make me throw up. So I'm sitting like upright and I'm texting my boyfriend. I'm like, just so you know, like I'm sleeping on the ground. Um, and you're probably gonna walk in and be like, is she okay? So I end up passing out. I'm in a deep sleep when I'm drunk. So I wake up the next morning with a little bit of anxiety and I look at my boyfriend and I go, so, how was I when you got home? He goes, "You were fine. You were sleeping on your bed, but the lights were on and you were wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants." I'm like, "Yep, sounds about right." So I eventually made it myself to my bed, which was good. But I usually I have like 7 million locks on my house. Like every door in my house has a lock, and I'll usually lock the shit out of my house, like lock, 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 lock. But I left it all open, and I was just like, whatever. Don't need to know that information. So um yeah, had a little bit of anxiety, kinda rotted a little bit on Sunday. We went to Flower Child downtown, which is actually so underrated. If you are, like, hungover or just feeling nasty and need, like, a good home-cooked meal, Flower Child is the place to go because it's like fast food, but not fast food. It's you order at the counter, and you sit down with a little card, and they'll bring your food over to you, but they have this whole selection on the menu. It's called the entree, and you pick your protein, and then you pick 2 sides. So I got steak and then I got a sweet potato glaze side, and then I also got their broccoli. And both were amazing. And I was inspired this week to actually make both of those because they were so good. So yeah, went there and then basically just went home. Another thing I love to do when I'm hungover and just want to rot is sweat it all out, but not in the form of exercise. I'll sit outside and lay by the pool and sweat really bad. And that made me feel a little bit better, especially getting the fresh air. But you guys, I just can't keep up like I used to, and it's kind of embarrassing. But I mean, I'm realizing that the more I go out and the more I get hungover like that, it's just not worth it anymore. Like, even my boyfriend was saying the same thing. I'm like, because he was also, like, down bad too. And I was just looked at him, I go, "I just don't even think going out like that is worth it anymore." Like, I wanna go somewhere casual and drink. Who am I kidding? I was casual drinking, fuck. Okay, I just, like, can't day drink and night drink. I can't do it. The combo of the 2, not anymore. But, like, this coming weekend, I'm going to a wine bar with some girlfriends, and I'm like, "See, this is up my alley, like, this is the type of stuff I wanna be doing, more wholesome activities." So, we'll see if I can hang with, everyone else at the wine bar. I freaking hope so. But anyways, Q&A episode. I am so excited to interact with you guys. I feel like, yes, I talk so much to myself, and I get so much hate on my Instagram of like, "Oh my god, this is a one-man show, like, who are you talking to?" I'm talking to you guys. Obviously, the people on Instagram are haters, they're trolls, but I am always talking to you guys. Like, I want you guys to feel like you're on FaceTime with me. That's the goal. So, let's see. All right. First one is about relationships and friendships. Hi, girly pop. Love you so much. Always look forward to the advice ones you give. I'm getting married in 2026 and need to pick my maid of honor. I've always struggled with friendships. Right now, I have no shortage of really close friends, but I feel like I don't have that one ride or die. My closest friend lives in Florida, and we talk every day. But she also is really close with another girl in our friend, one of girls in our friend group. I think is that what you're saying? Um, They were neighbors for like 10 years, but I don't know how much they even talk now. So I wouldn't want her to feel obligated to pick me as her maid of honor if I picked her as mine. Also, what if it's like shocked I picked her? No idea how to address the subject. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I feel like over the years, this is coming from like my point of view with weddings, but like, I just feel like with my parents and like anyone in the generations above me that marriage has changed so much. Smaller weddings are so much more normal. Not inviting like people that are in your life is very normal. Like my parents, they had like a big wedding. Everyone was invited. People that they haven't seen in like a year and a half were invited. And it's like, I personally want to have a very, very small wedding. And if I haven't talked to you in the last 6 months, I don't know, you're probably just not gonna get invited. And I know that rubs some people the wrong way to say, but I just think weddings come with so much extra drama that is just so unnecessary. The stress that comes with it, it's your day and having to worry about everyone else's feelings and emotions on like who's invited and if they get a plus one, who's gonna be a maid of honor. Just all of that drama that comes with it. It's like it's your day. You should be excited that you're getting married to the love of your life. Like I personally don't see like I know I'm gonna upset some people with like my decision with my wedding day, but that's normal. It happens. Like you're not gonna make everyone happy. So I just think that you shouldn't get too in your head about like asking someone that, oh my God, is she shocked that she's the maid of honor? I definitely think that if you do want to at some point ask her, maybe like start to put a little bit more effort into the friendship so that way it's not so much of a shock to her and that she'll kind of have that feeling coming. Um, or just be honest with her. Just say, like, hey, like, I was thinking about having you as my maid of honor. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like, weddings are just, I think, in my opinion, are overrated. And I'm not one for like the big weddings and like the drama that's gonna come with it. I just like I'm not looking forward to that. Ideally I would love to just like get married like low key and no one know about it. But coming from an Italian family and then his family is also really like my boyfriend's family is also very close. Like that just can't happen. I would upset everyone. And like I do want to have a wedding, but I want it to be on the smaller side. Anyways, small as it can be because my family's fucking big. We both have big families, so, um, yes. Anyways, um, does my boyfriend like my fake tits since you've got them done? I got them done before we even dated or were talking, so, it's not like that was a decision that was made because of him or his opinion mattered or XYZ, but like he loves me for me and I had them done before we even started talking. So, I mean, yeah, he obviously loves them. They're boobs. So, I mean, I love him. He loves them. But yeah, I feel like anyone can do whatever they want with their boobs if they want to get them done. But I definitely think make that decision based off of you solely and not like the validation of like your boyfriend or a man or anything like that. So yeah. Um, your most unpopular opinion about girl friendships in your 20s. Unpopular opinion, but fuck, I have so many. Unpopular opinion. I uh, I think it's normal like and I've done so many episodes about this, but like if you're in your 20s, this is like our time to really just figure out who we are as a person. Like 25, your frontal lobe develops, like you change so much as a person. So like ghosting friendships and just kind of like backing out of friendships, like that should be normalized. I think it comes with a bad rep, but I just think like, you know, you don't want to hold on to friendships that are kind of weighing you down or bringing the best out of you or like don't really align with like your values. So I feel like friendship breakups should be normal and then shouldn't be a judgment. But I will say actually this was crazy to think about. Um was fuck, I'm like drawing a blank right now. You know what? I just lost my thought. Damn it. Anyways, okay. Next one. How do you feel about how do I best approach a man at a bar or club? Any good pickup lines? Okay, the one thing that I used to love doing is going to the bars. If the bar is pretty big, going to the bar the same time they're at the bar and just making extreme eye contact with them. Let it be known that like you are into them, you see them, and then the second time you go back to the bar, just go right up next to them and be like, "What's your go-to drink?" And then if they say shot, whatever, something that like is so random, she'll be like, "Oh, like I've never had that before." And bam, they'll be like, "Oh my God, really? You never have?" Then he'll probably buy you a drink and then you get into a chit chat conversation. But it's so easy. Or you can compliment them. Guys love compliments. And that's one thing I noticed. Like my friend group has a lot of guys in it. And they always talk about how much they love getting compliments from women because one, when a girl's giving out compliments, majority of the time it means that they're confident in themselves, the way that they carry themselves, that they can like give compliments to a guy. So they love it. They find it like sexy, confident, and they love getting compliments. Like hype them up, but don't go too above and beyond. But just give them like a little compliment, like, "Oh my God, I love your shirt. Oh, I love that chain. I whatever it is, just give them a little compliment." Do. Have you and Nick talked about marriage? Yes, you guys are asking so many marriage questions, but like no rush. Like no rush at all. I think the next step for us, and I've said it many times, is like us living together. Um, that's the next step for us. Taking it slow, living together. His lease is not over till next June, so I really want to take priority in me living by myself for the first time ever before I just like one day like move in with him because that would just be weird if like we moved in together and then I was like, you know what, I want to live by myself for a little bit and then we moved out. Like that's just like once we're living together, we're living together. So just taking it slow. You know, I'm in no rush. I'm in my 20s, living life, have my two dogs, just bought this house. Like, of course I want him to live with me, but like I need to be like I need to have some self-control and just say, "You know what, Sam? Like it's important that you live by yourself in your 20s." And he does sleep over a good amount, so we're kind of like experimenting with it. Um, doo-doo-doo. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. um, favorite sex position. I will have to say being on top. And if you're getting freaky with it, being on top, but also standing on a countertop. That's or not standing. Oh my God, sitting on a countertop. Um, okay. Whatever happened with the girlfriend that was making fun of you in your run clubs? PSA, I love you. I look forward every Wednesday to hear your podcast. Love that, Slay. I don't know. I feel like I shut her up because I do know she probably listens to this podcast because that's where she gets all the tea. Like she'll hear me talking about something about her and then like run to everyone in her friend group, like telling everyone about it. I'm like, I know you listen to this. It's very odd. It's odd behavior. And she's a Reddit troll. So this same ex-friend um is a troll on my Reddit, talks about me in group chats that my friends are in and my friends tell me, and just loves talking about me. So and she listens to the podcast. Like it's fan behavior. It's actually crazy. But yeah, I think I shut her up finally. So um all right, this is a long one. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 3 years. We do long distance because we go to different colleges. He goes to school back home and lives at home, and we've been great, no problems with us. However, I have noticed some questionable things from his parents concerning him, also our friend relationship. Whenever he comes to visit me, his mom always calls him to come home early because he has to spend time with his dad or he has to do something that has been planned for him to do for the last minute and always guilt trips him into leaving and coming back home. I get spending time with your family, but you also are still living with them at home, so I don't understand why he's still she still makes him leave when, we have, plans for weeks. It takes so much time for me not to say anything to her because this happens so much and it's frustrating, but I don't want her to get mad. Also, just seems like whenever I come home, he's always forced to hang out with his parents too, but that feels weird. Is they oh my god. It's a weird thing is that they don't have other siblings who lives at home, just him. I know this is his parents, um, that his parents like me because he's been together for so long and his mom always says how much she loves me, but the other way that she acted is weird. It's the younger child's, so maybe it's just something to do with that, but I don't know. Do you have any thoughts and advice? Honestly, I would talk to him about it before maybe you talk to the mom. I've always kind of said and I always feel like this is just true, but boys specifically that are so caught up with their parents and live at home, like, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a red flag, like, they're very dependent on their parents, like, I hope, and I hope that he's, like, independent enough where he can do pretty much everything on his own and doesn't, like, rely off of his parents, but, like, coming to his parents like, coming home, like, and leaving early from a trip when he literally lives at home, like, that's a little bit of a red flag, um, but I would have that conversation with him before you have it with his mom. Just be straight up. Just say how, like, you're excited to see him, you never get to see him, you that he lives at home, like, just be as honest and straight up as you can, um, about the situation because hopefully he'll be like, "You know what? Like, I agree, it's been weird, like, I feel like I have been, like, going home a lot more, like, from trips that you guys plan," and just see where it goes from there, but I do think, like I hate to say this because you guys have been together for so long, but men that just, like, are mommy boys, like, in my opinion, are a huge red flag because men as is take longer to mature and become an adult than women do, and if he's still living at home and, like, is clinged on to his parents, like, I don't know. I I would be a little bit concerned about it to do. Um, what makeup brand or beauty product that everyone loves do you hate? I'm not a concealer person. Like, I don't I've never and foundation, like, concealer and foundation, I'm just not into that stuff, and I tried because everyone has, like, the, Tarte concealer, Shape Tape, whatever. I tried to, like, get into it because I got sent it, and I was like, I don't understand the concealer." And also, the concealer look that's, like, very white and, like, not blended out, that scares me. Like, I feel like that's something that I would do because 'cause I'm not good at concealer, that I would literally walk out and, like, take photos and my under eyes are just white. So, I avoid, concealer at all costs. What is your most interesting, traumatizing college or high school party experience? Um, oh goodness. I honestly didn't really party like a crazy animal in college, but I did go out once. So I went to LaSalle University in Boston, and it was right next to Boston College. And if you've been a follower, I used to work at Boston College football as their graphic designer, so I'm very familiar with like the people at Boston College, and I have a lot of friends there. So I decided my boyfriend was visiting me for Halloween, and I was like, let's go to Boston College frat, like a frat, and go out there and celebrate there. So I that day of Halloween had a field hockey game and I lost my tooth in the game. It's a Saturday. The dentist is not open and my boyfriend is in town. So I'm like, fuck, the pressure to go out was actually insane. I was like, oh my God. So I ended up still going out with no tooth and I dressed as a Dalmatian and he was the firefighter. We get over to Boston College. We're at line at the frat party and there's, like, a frat guy standing at the door approving everyone that's coming in, and he looks at me and goes, "What are you, a scarecrow?" And in that moment, I bawled my eyes out. I felt so embarrassed and so bullied that I literally cried right in front of him, and my boyfriend just, like, looks at me and is like, "Oh." God. And yeah, I don't even think we even ended up going in because I was just so embarrassed. So the confidence I had though to go out with no tooth in my face, I tried it, but did not go well. The little frat boy made fun of me. He goes, "You don't even look like a dog. You look like a scarecrow." I was like, I was so embarrassed. Blah blah blah. Let's see. How to start getting comfortable with a guy. I'm 20 and I'm a virgin. I feel like I'm behind in experience, lol. So I'm scared to put myself out there and start talking to people. I'm not someone who's into hooking up culture at the club, etc., and want to look like a little bit more toward relationships. Help. How do I do this? By the way, love all your content and the pod. Okay, well, I see nothing wrong if you're not in the hookup culture. I still don't see anything wrong with getting on the dating apps because you will find some genuine men on the dating apps. It's just rare, but it will happen. And go out to dates middle of the week. Like, I feel like when you're going out on the weekends for a date, there's a little bit more pressure there to like, go out, get drunk, and like maybe end up at one of y'all's places. But if you go out to dinner middle of the week or grab coffee in the morning before work, like there is less pressure there to like end up, getting too drunk or like hooking up with someone. So I just think if you're gonna do anything, dating apps are fine, but also if you're gonna go on dates, do it during the middle of the week because there's so much less pressure there, or on a Sunday morning or something. And then if you're not even a part of the hookup culture or anything like that, there's so many other ways to meet people. Like run clubs are huge right now, workout classes. If you live in Austin, Barry's is huge with girl and guys, and same with Studio 3. Like it's 50-50 on the gender. Like it's not like, if you go to Pilates, like it's majority girl, so it's gonna be harder for you to find a guy there. But like Barry's is good, Studio 3 is good, run clubs, the gym. Literally there's so many ways that you can make friends. Sport leagues are also good. There's a kickball league that I did last winter, which we want to sign up for it again. Um, Kickball league, which is unisex teams and like other things like volleyball, beach volleyball, and just getting to know people through that way. But don't feel the pressure of like feeling behind or anything like that. Like it's gonna come at your own time, whether it's from a one night stand or your first relationship. It literally doesn't matter. So don't feel the pressure ever with feeling like inexperienced or anything like that. Because it's honestly more common than not. Like I know like people say like, "Oh, like I feel like I'm very behind or inexperienced," but like there's probably a good amount of girls listening to this podcast right now that are going to relate to your story, and like it's not talked about a lot. So don't feel like you are behind at all. Um let's see. Best advice for finding genuine friends rather than surface level ones. Just know that it's going to take a little bit of time, especially if you move to a new city. Like, you need to meet people in order to meet new people, and just kind of like having those surface level friends and experimenting and seeing what you want out of a friendship. Like, you're going to figure out what your non negotiables are. You're going to see what you like and don't like out of like a friendship. So, it's going to take time finding that. It took me over 2 years to find my true, like, best friends here. So, just be patient and you'll find your ride or dies at some point. And guess what? It just needs to be one. It doesn't need to be 3 of 5 best friends. Like, one best friend is all you need, and you can have those surface level friends, like the run club friends, the gym friends, the going out at night friends, the double date friends. Like, you can have a bunch of service level friends, that's fine, but as long as you have, like, that one person, like, that's all you need, but you gotta be patient with it, and you gotta meet new people in order to find new people out there. Um, Dating tips for guys in their 20s, 30s, what would you recommend doing to help find your significant other? First of all, love that this is a guy, tuning in. Appreciate you. Guy audience is like a 1%, so much love there. But dating advice, honestly, this can go both ways for 20s, 30s as a girl or a guy. But you just got to be open minded. You can't be closed off and be stereotypical when you're looking for somebody when it comes to like looks or a job or success, because like everyone is in their own like timeline. And as long as you love like what's deep down and inside with someone, that's like all that matters. And the external stuff will become more attractive the more you start to love a person. So put all those like stereotypical things that you're looking for behind you. Obviously, you need some type of like non-negotiables right off the bat, but, like, a lot of the stereotypical stuff, like, on looks or, success, like, money-wise, like, we're in 2030s, like, most like, good amount of people, like, it takes time to grow up in their business or, like, the work level that they're at to be more successful, but as long as they have, like, a work drive, that's obviously more important than not. Um but just all those things. I see a lot of the time people look for the stereotypical relationship and then they get so into the honeymoon phase and then they get out of the honeymoon phase and then it's like, well, fuck, you're not actually who I thought you were. So finding someone for what they are deep down inside rather than external stuff, I think is huge. And it's honestly what's going to make relationships last in today's day and age. Because I feel like nowadays with social media, we compare so much to what we see online with relationships that we're just looking for that happy ever like that love story, and we're not actually looking for what's like deep down inside with the values of a person and like what they want as well, that we just look for like the looks, the tall guy, the 10 out of 10 person, but it's more like, are you happy with this person? Do you have the same values? Do you love this person for who they are? And then everything else will start to fall in line. So yeah, that's my advice. Dude, crazy experience on shrooms. I've only had like really one bad trip, and you guys, my boyfriend doesn't even know this. So because it was just me and my boyfriend and we were both on shrooms, and like the one thing is if you're freaking out, you kind of got to keep it to yourself because like if the other person starts to freak out, then you're both fucked. So um we were at a Dominic Fike concert. We just took a little bit, like tiny, tiny, tiny amount. And I just started to overanalyze everything. We're sitting like second row in the grass section because it's like an outdoor area. So it's the stage, you got the pit, then you got the seats, and then in the back is like the whole yo- like lawn where you can like lay down with a blanket, whatever. But the people in front of us, you guys, we took it literally barely any shrooms, like micro, but the the less I take it, the more sensitive I come to it. So then, like, if I haven't taken shrooms in like months, if I do like one square, which is point 0.2, like that will like do a lot to me. But if I've done it like the weekend before and I do point 0.2 again, like it's not going to hit as much as it would. So this was one of those occasions where I hadn't taken it in a while and I took a small amount. We're at this concert and I start tweaking out a little bit, like, oh my God, like I'm a little bit paranoid, like, fuck, like everyone around me staring at us. The boys in front of us, I'm not even kidding. I think we're on like Molly or something, but they were fucking they were going crazy. Like they were head bobbing. Keep in mind, this is Dominic Fike. This is alternative music. They're like literally like jumping up and down, like making all these like weird hand signals, like bobbing their heads. Like they're not even talking to each other. And they're like their mannerisms are just like not adding up. Like they're obviously on something. So I'm like tweaking out, like looking at them. I'm like, this is fucking weird. And like my boyfriend obviously saw it too, but he was fine. He was like honestly laughing at it because he was like on a good high. But I was like tweaking out. I'm like, I'm so miserable right now. Like, I need to go home. I'm so anxious. Like, this sucks. Like, Dominic Fike is my fucking favorite artist, and I want to go watch this live. But then I started to come down, and I was like, okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. But honestly, I really haven't had any bad experiences. I'm very cautious of like what I put into my body and how much I'm doing. Like, I can't do just regular caps because that's not measured out, and like I can't. Like, I need to measure it out. And that's why I like taking either capsules or the chocolate bars because I know exactly how much I'm taking. So, yes, fun fact. Um, all right, I like this one. Thank you. Mental health. How have you been? Best advice for keeping your mental health healthy and in check. So, as you guys know, I really went through it last month. I had a shitty like 3 weeks. And you know what? It's actually funny because I was just on a run with a girl this morning and I was telling her all about it because I hadn't seen her. And she was like, holy shit, Sam, like, how are you doing? Like, how are you holding up? And thinking about it, I'm like, the reason I did so good was because I was constantly in communication with my family. I went home for a week and then my boyfriend ended up just living with me and I was open about my emotions. I was expressing myself and I wasn't bottling anything up. So having my boyfriend and having my family and just being having them there for me and being open with how I'm feeling and just letting the tears out helped me so much because I used to be somebody that would bottle everything up. I'm not a hugger. I don't hug my friends goodbye. I don't say love you bye. Like I'm just not like that, but I'm slowly transitioning into being that person because I'm realizing it's so much healthier to be lovey-dovey, have your emotions, wear them on your chest. Like I used to be somebody who would be so stone cold. No one could really read me. And with your mental health, I think it's really important to communicate your emotions and express them. And I'm learning to do that. Slowly. And honestly, having this podcast has definitely helped me because I have to sit here and talk to you guys about things. And like, you guys are here to listen to me. And I think that has helped me tremendously with being able to transition into being more open about things going on in my life. So, if you just have that one person or even a therapist, like I tried therapy, but I just like it didn't really hit as much as it does with like talking to my family or my boyfriend, but just having those open conversations and your friends too. Like one of my best friends, she has been through so much and like getting advice from her or just talking to her because she relates to me. She's been through similar situations as me and it's like it feels so good getting things like that off your chest and not bottling it up because you get so in your head. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of like a panic attack, first one in like 2 years, but like I had it so much more under control than I would have 2 years ago just because now I know like how to deal with my emotions and how to deal with these things. So just being like open and expressing yourself. And I know it can be hard for some people because like you feel like you don't have anyone and you feel like, people do ask like, "Hey, how are you?" And like in your head, you're like, yeah, they're asking, but I don't think they really care. And I don't feel like they want to hear my trauma dump right now. Like I've been there, I felt like that, but truly like it's opening the door when you talk to someone about your emotions because if you get vulnerable and you talk to them, that makes them feel more likely to be vulnerable and open up to you. And then having those deep conversations with friends and family, like it brings you closer too. So there's just more benefit in like actually expressing how you're feeling than there isn't. All right. When you were on birth control, did you ever mess up your libido? My current pill does, and it sucks. I want to get off so bad, but my body is so used to it. Would love to hear about your decision to get off birth control. So yeah, I got off birth control about 2.5 years ago, and it took honestly like 2-ish years to really regulate out my hormones and get a healthy cycle. I went 6 months after getting off birth control without even getting a period. And when I did get my period, it was very inconsistent. But when I was on birth control, I had a low libido, really no sex drive. And coming right off of it, you guys, I'm not even kidding. Like, which obviously talk to your doctors about this stuff. Like, don't just do it because I said do it. But um, I had such a like fogged up brain, I feel like. Like I just feel like I really wasn't myself and I've changed a lot. Now, a lot of things have been a key factor in me changing a lot. Like I got a boyfriend, my fucking frontal lobe developed, I got off birth control, I moved, like a lot of things have played a part, but I truly think that like birth control had such a brain fog on me. Like I feel like I actually became like who I wanted to be after getting off birth control and just like really being in tune with my body. Like there is nothing cooler than actually being able to feel my body as a female. Like I never experienced like the cycle. So like when people are like, "Oh, my luteal phase, my follicular phase," I'm like, "What the fuck are they talking about? Like you can feel that shit on your body?" Like I don't get it. And I kid you not, guys, like coming off birth control and being able to actually feel my body, like enter my like luteal phase and like feeling myself ovulate, like it's it's empowering. It's really fucking cool. But obviously there's pros and cons with coming off birth control. I do think depending on your age, like there's a point where like you want to regulate your hormones before, you get older. So I really, really took the time to regulate my hormones. So yeah. Oh, also those you said also PS um need to know where those jean shorts are from that you posted on your snap. They are from a little boutique and they're not linkable. I tried so much to link them, but I did link similar ones on my like to know it. So yeah. Sorry. I know I'm the worst. We'll do a few more. Um, let's see. Dude, I don't even know. What's the most ridiculous lie you have ever told to get out of trouble? I'm not saying I'm a goody two shoes, but I truly don't feel like I've really lied to like my parents or friends or anything, or even like my boyfriends or like ex boyfriends or whatever. Like, I just feel like I was kind of a goody two shoes. The one thing I will brag about is that I'm the only sibling in my family that never got in trouble with the police in high school with like drinking or anything. Like my hometown, the cops are huge on busting like high school like basement parties. Like they loved that shit. They ate it up. But I never really put myself in the position for that to happen to me. So maybe I'm lame. Maybe I'm a goody two shoes. I don't know. But I just feel like I never really told lies. And I think that's maybe because I'm the oldest, so I kinda had to, like, pave the way for my brothers to have a little bit more of, like, lenient parents. Like, my parents were maybe so strict on me, not only because I was the oldest, but I was also the daughter. So, I kinda had to pave the way and, like, make the rules a little bit less strict. But, oh my god, wait. This is actually a crazy story. This has nothing to do with the lies thing, but when I was in high school, I was like a sophomore or something. It was right when everyone was getting their licenses. And I went to a friend's house. He's like the one of the friends that always has people over in his basement. We go through the bulkhead to get in. The parents know we're there though. Like the parents love us, but it was just, when you're a drunk high schooler, like you go through the bulkhead just to avoid the conversation so that they can't like smell the liquor on you or anything. So go over to his house and my friends had drove his car and he wasn't drinking, but he was at the party. And this is like one of my best guy friends at the time. So I'm like, hey, like, would you mind driving me home when you do go home? And because he's driving, he's probably leaving on the earlier side because everyone else is super drunk. And like, when you're the sober one, you're probably more likely to leave early. And he's like, all right, I'm leaving. I'm like, all right, will you please drive me home? So I get in his car and I'm with another guy in the back seat. We're pulling down the driveway and we cross the street to get into a neighborhood because it's a main street and then across the street is a neighborhood that we have to drop one of the friends off at. We pull into the neighborhood and this other guy in the back seat with me goes, "Oh, 1 second. I need to throw out this beer box." And I'm sitting there like, what? Can you wait? Can you just bring it home?" He's like, "No, my parents are gonna find out and I'm gonna get in trouble that I have this beer box." I'm like, maybe don't do that. We're driving. There's a car behind us. I'm like, "Can you wait until this car, like, goes around, please? Just, like, wait." He goes, "Ah, no, they're not gonna care. It's fine." We're passing, like, this wooded area in the neighborhood. He throws out the box, and 2 seconds later, cop lights go on. The car behind us was a cop. So I'm sitting there like, "Fuck me." I just wanted to get home, and I'm sitting there. The cop, older guy, whatever, sees comes up to the car with his flashlight, looks at the driver, makes the driver do like um what's the drinking exam, whatever, on the side of the road. And then I'm still sitting in the car, makes the other kid that threw the box out get out of the car as well. And I'm just sitting in the car. I'm like all innocent, like little, like twiddling my hair, like, oh my God, like this sucks. This is crazy. And I look at the cop and I go, "I just needed a ride home. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I wasn't a part of this, blah, blah, blah." Cop did not care about me. He was like, "You're fine." Like, he knew my name, obviously, because I like give my license or everything. He's like, "You're fine. Just like sit in the car." I'm like literally freaking out. I'm like, my parents are going to fucking kill me. Like, I'm in trouble. Like, blah, blah, blah. And so I call my dad and I'm like, "Dad," because the cop was like, "Just call your parents, like, have them come pick you up." So I call my dad and I go, "Dad, will you please come pick me up?" And my dad's like, "What?" And I explain everything to him. He goes, "Yeah, the cop just said, like, come pick me up, come pick me up." My dad literally on the phone goes, "Sam, what the fuck? I'm hammered. I can't come pick you up. I'm gonna get arrested." So I'm like, "Well, fuck, like, I need a ride home. Like, what am I gonna do?" So I told the cop, I go, "Yeah, so my dad's drunk and, like, can't come pick me up because he doesn't wanna get in trouble for picking me up and, like, drinking and driving." So the cop goes, "Don't worry about it. I'll give you a ride home." I'm like, "Okay, this could be either the best decision or the worst decision ever." My parents are at home. This cop drives me home. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm just gonna get out of the car, like run into the house, go to bed because my parents are in bed. And this cop goes, I'm gonna come in. I go, no, you ain't. No, you fucking ain't. And he comes into the house. Well, first of all, knocks on the door, obviously, because some parents are upstairs. I go, oh, like my parents are asleep. Like, do you want me to go wake them up? He goes, yeah, I'm just gonna tell them what happened. I'm like, oh my God, like, fuck. And so I had to go upstairs, wake up my dad. I'm like shaking him. I'm like, Dad, like the cops downstairs wants to talk to you. And my dad goes downstairs, like, oh fuck, like this sucks. Goes downstairs, has a conversation with the cop, and I'm like, fuck, like I'm screwed. I'm in trouble. And yeah, because by association, my dad got the story from the cop. By association, my dad was mad at me for being a part of it. And yeah, I was like grounded for a week. But yeah, that was not a fun situation to be in. Did not have fun with that. Being grounded, got my phone taken away. My parents loved grounding us, like honestly, and taking phones away and making me lock myself in my room. They'd be like, go to your room. I'm like, okay. But yeah, my parents, I guess, were like strict, but not really. Like, I would still have like people over and drink. I think my parents were just more like, Sam, you got in a car with like alcohol. Like, that was a dumb decision. Why did you do that? And I'm like, I just was trying to go home. But yeah, funny story. I'm gonna do one more. So many sex questions. All right. I tend to go through phases of working out. I'll be a gym rat for a few months, then I'll go months without it. I've had a hard time getting motivated to work out after. Even my eating goes through phases. I'm at a tough point where I've gained weight and I'm just not motivated. How do I get out of this funk? My biggest advice for somebody that's like struggling to just stay consistent and motivated is just sign up for some type of like reward. So whether that's like you do your own little like 30-day challenge or you sign up for a 5K, a marathon, or like a CrossFit thing, like find something to train for and look forward to because I think the biggest thing with working out and just being consistent with it is like you need to have fun with it. And if you're not having fun with it, you're not going to love it and you're not going to be consistent and like have a sustainable lifestyle with it. So that's why I think like don't go so heavy on just like one thing, like weight training. Like say if you want to train for a 5K, you don't need to run every damn day, but maybe run twice a week. But then also sprinkle in some weight training in there. And then maybe go to yoga once a week and going on walks. Like make it fun, make it enjoyable, but like also at the same time, maybe sign up for something that will give you the extra motivation and push to be successful with whatever you signed up for because now you have like some type of accountability. Um but I get it. I get getting in funks, like, I've been there, but now that I'm in a place where my workout schedule is very all over the place in terms of, like, I go to Pilates, I go to run clubs, I run on my own, I go to the gym and lift weights, I do interval classes like Barry's or Studio 3, like, I do it all, and I never get bored with my workout schedule, so I think that's the biggest thing that's gonna work long term for people is, like, not putting yourself in such a box and like being open to doing so many different things because like some days you're not going to want to wake up and go work out and lift. Maybe you just want to go to yoga or you want to go to Pilates. So like having like a bunch of things under your belt is more sustainable than, really narrowing in on one specific thing. So yeah. But that's all my little Q&A for this week. Sometimes when I talk my mouth gets so dry and I need water. So, that's where I'm at right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I appreciate you guys leaving any Q&A questions you had. I'm going to start to plan getting a guest on hopefully either next week or the week after. It's just these weeks go by so quickly and I realize, fuck, it's already recording day. I don't have a guest. So hopefully next week. But that's about it. Love you guys. And make sure you are following the podcast Instagram for all of the giveaways that come up. I'm going to try to do 2 to 3 a month. So just be on the lookout. Bye, guys.